I finally cleaned my space exactly the way I wanted it to be. There's a few things that are on the walls that are just memorabilia based, like these dream catchers that my siblings made. I can't show what else is on the wall, but I have some BB weaponry and my brother's, some gifts I brought my brothers from Korea years ago. But let me just show you what I did. Okay. I have to be real. For several months, I hadn't spent any time making my bed. I actually made my bed. The blankets are all crumpled up, but I, moved everything off the floor, put it on the bed, and then I thoroughly, vacuumed the mattress and freshened it up, and then I made my bed. I completely reorganized all my clothes. That basket of laundry, it needs to be hung up in the closet. And then this is just a fresh basket of laundry I need to put away. There's a picture of the Twin Towers that my mom gave me. And even though it doesn't look like it, I wiped the windows down. It's just the outside is up on a second floor, and I'm not about to get a ladder out to clean it. But the inside of the windows is clean. And then let me just walk into my office. I haven't used this office since I moved in with my family. But there's a lot of old books on the walls, or shelves rather, and I'm going to probably go through them because I'm just curious about what's in there. I have to shred some documents later. That big old stack right there, I have to file whatever I have to keep, and it's just a pile of jackets that I need to hang up. But I wouldn't say the floor was completely covered, but there was a lot more obstruction where I was walking on the walls and stuff. I had too much stuff. I just had too much stuff. And I cleaned the bathroom. I bought some containers for organizing at Walmart, and I got some stuff, sorted out here. It doesn't look perfect. I have to hang this new shower curtain that's a lot nicer than the current one I have. But mostly I have just personal items sorted out in these 4 containers here. I got a lot of dishes to wash. And the system I have, because I don't have my own, what do I say? I don't have my own sink to wash dishes in. I just use the bathtub. So I have a basket, and I fill it up, and then once or twice a week, I wash the dishes. Got some of my earrings sorted out. It's not perfect, it's just better. My medicine and supplements and just personal items. I cleaned out this closet. It was impossible before. Let's add some light. But it was a lot more horrible before. I just made it a lot more neat and clean. I wish I had more levels of my shoe rack, but that's all that I got. And then this stack here is all calendars and cork boards and whiteboards and planners. So what I'm going to do is create a separate schedule for different segments of my life, because what I'm trying to do is drastically restructure my life. I have goals I still want to accomplish, and what I'm planning on doing is creating a schedule for each segment of my life and then consolidating it on one big calendar that I map out for the month ahead. But I'm going to go at least a year out, maybe more. And then every day I can take this planner and glance at the calendar in physical person, which is better for me than digital. And it sounds complicated, but really it's just a lot of upfront work, and then you don't have to think about it and stress about making a million decisions and figuring out what those decisions are. So what I'm going to do is, when I make that consolidated calendar and budget, I'm going to put the budget in there too. I can just use this planner to write down what the week will look like and the day will look like, and take it with me everywhere. And that way I don't miss anything, because, I don't know how relatable this is, but I get decision fatigue crazily easily. It's too much, honestly. Hello. I didn't do much to change here, except that I decided to keep my laundry basket next to the door overnight, but normally it goes around the corner. Usually the dishes are right here because I cook right here. I made this into a little makeshift kitchen counter. And then I also double this space as where I wax my skis. I know that sounds wild, but I have like a tarp that I lay out so that the wax doesn't get onto the surface of the table. And my Nordic skis, I have the bench for my skis right there. And I put it over here, and I have clamps to attach to the table. And I wax my skis, and all my waxing equipment is down there. And then I reorganized all of my kitchenware and food. I decided, that I was getting fed up with having to constantly nitpick my way through everything and trying to find out like where to put everything. So I just decided to buy a bunch of organizers. And honestly, I wish I bought some for these. This is just a lot of pasta. And then I got some other like dry goods right here. These are cute placemats that I found at Fred Meyer for I think like $4 for a pack. I've been using them for they're just little inexpensive placemats. I've been using them as cutting boards, which is why you see the knife marks on them. This is a little bit of an awkward place to put this stuff, but I didn't know where else to put it. I just have utensils, plates, and trash bags. And this one gigantic can of tomatoes that I haven't figured out what to do with yet. And I can't fit it anywhere. And then here's all my dishes, or my, my pots and pans and my utensils, or not my utensils, but my plates, my pots and pans, my electric appliances. Honestly, I'm a little bit proud of this one because I wasn't sure how to organize all of that stuff, but I figured it out. And all my wire racks and cookie racks, baking dishes. I put all of my utensils and baking tools in here for now. I don't have like a nice drawer set, so I just bought one at Walmart. I don't like Walmart personally, but I went there anyway because I know they have like good storage tools. I put all my glassware in this one. I found this really cute one for like, I think it was like $5. It was $12 before. This is what I call the heart of my home. It has a lot of personal significance, but also it's just pretty. I also love old languages, so my mother gave me this as a gift. That's a gift my sister gave me for all the way from Egypt. It's the Dendera calendar. The Dendera zodiac, excuse me. Here's where my dog sleeps. She's outside right now. I'm about to take a nap, but she's running around in the woods chasing squirrels. This is not a real fireplace, by the way. This is just a little fan heater that looks like a cute fireplace. And there's my coffee corner. And then I don't know if I want to show you the inside of my drawer, bureau drawer set. It's just me stuffing all my clothes into the drawers and then leaving everything else out that I plan to hang up in the closets. I have 2 drawer sets because I have so many clothes. Pajamas and sparkly stuff. And oops. I know, it's supposed to look nicer. But really, whenever I'm doing something else for a half hour, I take out my clothes from the drawers, and if they're all crumpled up, all I have to do is spritz them with a little bit of water and then throw them in the dryer for about 30 to 40 minutes. And it kind of helps get all the wrinkles out if I hang it up for the next day. Maybe I'll take the time to fold everything, but I just don't want to. Other things have to be done. There's a million other things that I have to do, and I have to kind of manage my time really, really carefully. But that's everything. Oh, these are cute. I don't know if I think they're functionally useful, but I thought they were adorable decorations. I like this color, by the way. This calm, sort of icicle blue color. And, I'm looking at the color of these walls, and I don't like it. I think one of my siblings painted it this way when they were a teenager. I think it was maybe one of my brothers. I don't know what color to use. I don't like white or anything neutral, really. I want something interesting, like something that might match the door and the trim, but is more on the oceanic side. So I was thinking like a blue-toned gray or a heather blue, maybe. Something that kind of makes you think of a misty ocean. I don't know. Maybe I'll paint it one day. It's a big project. I'd have to wait till the summer to do so. or wait until a long break in between semesters. But yeah, that's what I got going on so far. Oh, and the other thing I did is I moved the project table away from the window because I want to get a more dedicated reading chair. This is my temporary reading chair because, I'm short, my legs get swollen easily if I let them dangle. So I want something comfortable and recliny to put there that's easy to move away so I could work on projects by putting the project table in front of the window where there's nice daylight and I can do, I've always wanted to design my own clothes just for fun. And then, I have a bookcase here. I had a bookcase over here too. I want to expand my book collection. I have 2 of my own bookcases and the bookcase in my office. But yeah, that's everything for today. I'm in desperate need of a nap. I've been running on about 4 hours of sleep, and I'm feeling my body starting to rebel and the beginnings of a migraine rising up from the surface. So the one big lesson that I had to learn from being someone whose health is rather delicate is that if I try to run really hard, I not only burn myself out, but my body gets thrown completely off balance for sometimes months on end. And sometimes I need to take that break before it gets astronomically worse. So I'm deciding to take a break today, at least for until the late afternoon. And then I have a couple more chores to finish, like the dishes, which takes a while, because there's a lot. And, I have a couple, and I have to plan my schedule and do some, homework assignments. But I'm going to take a nap first. And then I want to make cookies tonight before I go to bed. Because it would be nice to just smell cookies. Like good brown butter chocolate chip cookies. I'm not really that interested in other cookies. Just those. The kind that have the crackly top. And they kind of are almost fluffy on the inside. But they break open beautifully with just the chocolate. It's so good. So I'm going to go to the store after I take a nap and then finish all the rest of my chores, plan my schedule. Another thing I'm doing that I highly recommend and we'll talk about later is a resistance budget. It's basically where you retool your finances to pull away from corporations that are not respecting our rights. But also, I'm retooling my budget for things that I care about and that I'm planning on. Instead of frivolous things that are meant to be a drain and a distraction on your time and energy. There's self-care that's important. I always have to invest in additional nutrition and supplements and, health goals, but, and personal disciplines that I choose. But other than that, keeping my money close to my chest is something I'm learning to do now. And I'm going to make a resistance budget. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this simple walk through my space. Oh, and the stuff that's in front of the door. I gotta take that downstairs to my parents' storage area because I don't need it. I had to pull everything away from the walls and get all the dust and dirt and scrub it off the floor. It was so yuck. But I'll talk to you guys later. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. The reason I put all of my stuff up on the bed after sorting through it, which took several days, was because I wanted to thoroughly vacuum, scrub, mop and wax the floor, which I did over the course of 2 weekends because there was so much dirt. I think I might have to do it a couple more times, but it's pretty clean, you know. I spent a good several hours moving stuff around and, you know, mopping and vacuuming. Maybe I should live stream that. I know that some people like to live stream themselves cleaning or studying or doing stuff like that because, you know, some people like to play that in the background because it's comforting, or, you know, they just like the company if they're doing the same thing. But yeah, I'm glad that I did what I did. It took a lot of work, but it was worth it. The only other thing I need to do, I think, is, I don't have my notebook with me, but I do have to kind of quickly clean out the fridge. And then the really important thing that I have to do, aside from homework and piano practice, is 100% get that schedule locked in. Because, as I said before, I get decision fatigue. I have to have my decisions mapped out beforehand. And yes, life is ever changing and stuff. Circumstances alter all the time. But I think that there should be that should not deter people from trying to create structure. And I know I need it. I don't know if it's just because of my mental health or the way I'm wired, but I need structure in order to accomplish things. It's, you know, having all this time and not using it in a way that is self-directed makes for a worsening situation for me, I think. At least at this particular time. I would love to find a time period where I don't have to go anywhere or do anything, and I can take the longest break. But for right now, day-to-day structure is important. So, yeah. Take time out if you want today. I know I'm going to. I just don't feel all that well. I think I pushed myself too hard. But I'm going to take a nap. You know, I took my medicine too. I'm trying to avoid getting another migraine. Okay. Later, guys.